first step I take with all clients, every single one of my clients that comes on board for health optimization, is I ban ice cubes. You see, I don't believe in banning foods or demonizing foods, except ice cubes. And this came up the other day when I was speaking to someone with regards to why we don't move forward. And I said about this analogy. Imagine you are on the stove. No, you've got a saucepan on the stove. Hot water in there. And it is boiling up. It is boiling up and boiling up and boiling up. And this is what's happening with our bodies. Now, you want to cool that water down. What do? Do you A, keep chucking ice cubes into it every few minutes because this ice is going to cool it down. And it's going to stop it boiling. But eventually that water is going to boil up again and again and again. So you're going to have to put more ice cubes in it. Keep doing this, it's going to go down, and it's going to boil up again. And that's essentially what's happening in every single one of the clients that I work with when they come to me. Successful entrepreneurs that have been focused so much on their business that stress and health is really intertwined in a negative way. The other option that you will have is to simply turn off the stove. Turn off the stove, the hob, whatever you want to call it, and let that saucepan cool down. It isn't instant. It isn't as instant as putting these ice cubes in there, but it does work. And that's the process that I work with clients. You see, the world that we live in, we've become a society that wants to throw ice cubes at our body. We don't look at the heat that is causing the water to bubble up and to boil over. We want to throw ice cubes at it. You've got a headache, you take paracetamol. You need some more focus, you go and get stimulants, and it is not coffee in here. You go and get more and more stimulants, more nootropics, because you need to pop a pill to focus and pop a pill to sleep and pop a pill to wake up. And then you take something else called alcohol because you're not happy with the situation you're in. And again, I don't want to ban alcohol from someone. But if you are using alcohol because you don't like the life you are living as a sedative, that is your ice cube. If there are other drugs involved, those are your ice cube. So what do we need to do? We need to look at the longer game here. We need to look at the bigger picture. We need to turn off the stove. The first step is to stop throwing ice cubes at it, because that saucepan can only contain a certain amount of water. And the more we throw an ice cube in it, it's just going to melt. That means the volume of water is going to rise. If that volume of water rises, it's going to overflow. And that is where the damage is done. You get all those nasty marks on your hob, all those nasty marks on your worktop. Maybe there's a good phone next to it, or there's some other valuables next to it, and that water has overflowed and your watch is now broken, your ring is now ruined, and you've burnt yourself. You're scarred for life. But the simple situation, the simple one thing you can do is turn off the hob, turn off the stove, turn off the cooker, whatever you want to call it, cut out the gas, and start working one step at a time. One single step at a time. Now, if you look on my timeline, I've posted about Rick Barker's transformation. He was sick and tired of being sick and tired. Sick and tired of simply throwing ice cubes at his body and not letting the actual work take place to make the change. He's lost nearly 30 pounds now. And if you want to be one of the 2 people in my revitalization blueprint, yes, as I said, there's no false scarcity here. There's 2 spots in my actual one-to-one programs. There are lower tier programs, but this is the one that Rick invested in and has dropped nearly 30 pounds in under 6 months and completely changed his whole outlook on life, his energy, his focus, his productivity, his creativity. Ask Rick yourself how he feels about himself, his body, his confidence now. And this is a guy that launched the career of Taylor Swift. The guy is pretty confident, but ask him now what impact it's had. In fact, go down the timeline and look at the video. Another guy here who's just liked on the picture, Ryan McKenzie. Ask Ryan, go to revitalizationblueprint.com, scroll down and look at his video. had the highest return and direct response within the first month of working with me, simply by stopping throwing ice cubes at his body and turning off the stove. Ask yourself, do you want to be that person that constantly throws ice cubes at their body? Or do you want to transform your life and become the boss?